The PlayStation 4 has been in the hands of players for less than 4 months, and in that time the only big Sony exclusives we've seen have been Killzone Shadowfall and Knack, and the less said about Knack the better. So really, the PS4's lineup has been holding out for a hero. inFAMOUS Second Son could be that hero, or game if you want to use the vernacular. The latest superhero adventure from developers Sucker Punch sees the series move away from the story it established on the PS3. We chatted to game director Nate Fox at an event in London to find out more.
Well, at the end of inFAMOUS 2, we gave players a choice if they wanted to heroically sacrifice Cole or keep him alive at the expense of many humans' lives, and players decided to let Cole die. So we honored their choice. Cole's dead, and we came up with a new hero. I will be honest with you, I hoped that they would keep Cole alive. I like Cole, I like Cole's powers, and the world was set up in a really interesting way. Should we have gone with the evil ending? But as it turned out, players chose to not do that, and as a result, we have Delson with all new powers, all new story, which actually, even though I was disappointed, ended up being a good thing because now it's a really great point for people to jump into the inFAMOUS universe.
For those of you thinking, who's this new guy think he is with his fancy hat? Let's explain. This is Delsin Rowe. Delson's a young rebel in a fictional Seattle, where having powers is completely illegal and gets you in trouble with the Department of Unified Protection, who like to dress like heavily armoured bumblebees. Oh yeah, and Delson is voiced by the awesome Troy Baker, much like every other video game character at the moment.
So the first time we actually stepped foot on the stage to shoot something, we had a good solid footing of who those characters were. And that allows you to kind of explore the different scenes and the different choices, because obviously this is a game of choices. And especially when you have good choices, bad choices. You want to make sure that you're creating a character that can be divergent enough to make those choices realistically, but not feel like you're dealing with two different characters. So we find this 24-year-old Native American who is devil-may-care, rebel, kind of lives life on his own terms, and then in the inFAMOUS DNA is very much of an ordinary guy put in extraordinary circumstances. And so in our story, you can see superpowers. What would happen if someone was given a license to kill or to heal, and we let the player make the choice?
The ability to choose whether to be good or evil whilst removing the DUP from the streets of Seattle isn't just a moral quandary for the player. It left Troy with the unenviable job of playing a character who could believably be both good and evil.
I'm going to be evil now.
Don't worry, he didn't actually do that in the game.
I didn't want it to be Halo on one guy at horns.
Yeah.
You know, but you want it to be rewarding. If someone's going to play, you know, viciously, then you want there to be that, you know, that reward for that. And we give whatever experience the player wants. We have a story that we want to tell, and we're going to point everything towards that. But at the same time, we want you to feel like you have agency in your story. So the decisions that we make feel true to the character, but also are rewarding either way you go. So what we did is we established what the definition of good and evil was. And to me, it could be the difference between selfish and selfless. So when you have a character that you understand that's making a selfish choice or a selfless choice, just like you and I both do, it's still you. It's just you in a different moment making a different decision.
From getting some extensive playtime with the game, Delsin certainly seems like a more complex character than Cole, whose good and evil arc often boiled down to either being incredibly angry or oddly serene. Delsin is also a more complicated conduit, that's superpowered person to us muggles, as he's able to pinch abilities from other conduits and use them himself.
Each power is a different play style itself, so you kind of take on a different role. And then when you get these powers, the player has the freedom to switch them out whenever they want by harvesting from the urban environment.
It's a fun way to play, changing your abilities on the fly in the midst of a fight, or alternatively, switching things up to make traversing the city of Seattle a breeze. Which is another new thing for the inFAMOUS series, as Seattle is the first real-life city to feature in the games.
So we thought, well, why mess around? Let's just make Seattle, Seattle. And as a result, we got to get in, you know, local landmarks like the Space Needle, even local businesses, and we could go into Seattle itself. Sucker Punch is actually located right out of Seattle to record the sound effects of every little thing. You know, birds and trees. We got local punk bands to make music that you can hear coming out of bars at night. We would sample the quality of light in the afternoon or the evening. And all of that raw information is put directly into the game. And when you're on the street in Second Son Seattle, you can kind of feel the reality bleed through.
As the first Sony exclusive to be released since the console launched in November, there is a lot riding on infamous Second Son. But you know what they say, with great responsibility comes great power. The Spider-Man quote doesn't work that way around. Fingers crossed it's good, eh?